Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Diablo 3 Status Update, episode number 48. I am your host, MackTen, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about patch 1.0.a. Now, you can see in the background my game footage is especially laggy. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I'm assuming it's on Blizzard's end, because there's nothing different in my PC this week, of course, so not exactly sure what's going on there, and I do not believe it's related to the patch, or at least I hope not. So, 1.0.3a fixed the Witch Doctor skill Zombie Bears. It now works as it's supposed to. Blah blah blah. Bosses are now guaranteed to drop at least one rare item for players with 4 stacks of Nephilim Valor, and at least 2 rare items for players with at least 5 stacks of Nephilim Valor. This encourages people to play the game, because drops are back to not what they were before, but because the bosses have this drop buff, it encourages people to sink time in the game. It encourages people to continue playing if they hadn't already left. So, I don't know, that's an interesting patch to me, but the most interesting thing is that all of the drop rates everywhere for level 63, level 62, and level 61 items has been raised. Hell, not even going to mention, but Inferno Act 1, level 63 items went from 2 to 4.8%. Inferno Act 2, level 63 items went from 4.1 to 9.3%, and Inferno Acts 3 and Act 4 went from 8 to 16.3%. Now, I want to point out that we never knew what Act 3 and Act 4 were before patch 1.0.3, so we don't exactly know how much of a buff this is overall. I assume I assume the drop rate is still lower than what it was 3 weeks ago, but I think it's better now. We can actually play the game without pulling out our hair. It encourages people to continue sinking time and effort into the game, and it creates running the acts of Inferno more psychologically rewarding, because you have a better chance of getting respectable shit. So it's a good patch. It helps a lot. I think the drop rates, maybe, I don't know, I wouldn't want the drop rates too high, I wouldn't want them too low. I want the drop rates balanced, but before they were too low, it wasn't even worth my time. I could just make more money playing the auction house than actually playing the game. So, that's sort of what I think about that. Something else that I really wanted to point out is economically, or rather in the economy, how this will affect everything. I think that, obviously the more good items that you have, the lower the prices will be, and the less items you have, the higher the prices will be, as we saw prices skyrocketed recently when all of the drop rates were nerfed. So, I think that overall we will see prices go down a bit, at least for the rest of the week, and part of next week we'll see prices go down a bit. But I also wanted to point out that people are talking a lot about ninja nerfs and the possibility that, or rather ninja buffs for monsters, and that the possibility that monsters are stronger and do more damage in Inferno, some hot fixes on some stats, and now it's harder to kill things, and it's easier for you to get killed. And if this is the case, it's as it should be. Inferno should be extremely difficult with extremely high drop rates. Killing a rare spawn should give you a badass piece of gear, but killing a rare spawn, even if you're geared, should be difficult on Acts 3 and Acts 4. So I think it's a step in the right direction for Blizzard, and I think it will help the game overall. I think it will help the long-term viability of our game, but I still think there's a lot of work to be done. I still think there's a lot of tweaking. I think that monster should be even stronger. I think that Act 2, if you beat Act 1, if you can farm Act 1 on absolute ease, you should hit a brick wall when you hit Act 2, and you should hit a brick wall when you hit Acts 3 and 4. I think that brick wall effect is a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing in the sense that I prefer it to a more complex system that actually requires you to learn more mechanics and to play harder rather than to just buy your way through with more gear. But if given the options we have, I think that Acts 2 and Acts 3 should be more difficult, and they should have higher drop rates. So this patch is a step in the right direction, I believe, from Blizzard, and that's it. So thanks for watching. Today is June the 29th of 2012. I will be doing Evil Money tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time. It will be at twitch.tv/MackXten. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.